From amazing AI videos to accusations of false marketing and bad practice, Higgsfield AI is certainly a mixed bag. But is this viral AI tool site actually worth your money and safe to use? I've spent over a month testing it and this is what I found. But first, because this is not like other videos and not a sponsored review, I have to open up my wallet. Immediately upon logging on, I realized there is a lot here. Higgsfield is a multimodal site that combines all of the best AI models and tools from a bunch of different AI companies and puts them all in one place. That means that there is a lot going on and it's pretty overwhelming right off the bat. I'm gonna make all of this as digestible as possible for you by ranking each feature on 2 scales. First, quality and quantity, and then second, usability. But stick around for the second half because that's where I'm gonna break down the most important stuff, including censorship, privacy, and price. There is so much here that I hardly know where to begin. So let's go over to Higgsfield's Assistant tab because I need one of those and ask it what we should do. Let's start with the high-end image and video generation, shall we? This is the big one. Most people are here for image and video, and there are a ton of options here. There are even some tools and models that are Higgsfield exclusive, which means you can only get them on this site, and I'm gonna test those in a minute. Opening up the main image gen page, we can see all of the major models are here, including the heavy hitters like Nano Banana Pro, Seedream 4.5, and GPT 1.5. Many of these models have unlimited generations with my subscription, which I'm gonna fully explain when we get to price, because this is where a lot of people have reported some issues. The process of generating an image is pretty normal here. Just select your model, import your assets, enter your prompt, and choose things like your desired aspect ratio, resolution, and how many versions of the image you'd like the model to give you. This looks pretty great, but if I wanted to change anything, I can just click here to reference the image and then make whatever edits I want. You can also directly animate this with image to video, or if you want more shots like this from the same scene, just click Multishot over here and you can get a bunch more angles inspired by your original image. At least that's how it's supposed to work. Multishot didn't actually work for me the first time I tried it with this Terminator image. It just got stuck loading and loading and loading, and eventually it just failed entirely. So I had to find a workaround. What I did was I downloaded the image and then opened up the Multishot app on its own separately, and then generated multiple angles from the downloaded image, which worked. When it actually works, Multishot is one of my favorite things about Higgsfield's image gen tool, and it is super handy when creating videos, which I'll show you in a minute. Overall, the basic image gen workflow is really nice here, but it did seem to take a little while for generations to load. It took 1 minute and 18 seconds for the main image and 2 minutes and 10 seconds for the Multishot, which both felt kind of sluggish, although I'm sure this totally varies depending on your internet connection as well as total server workload whenever you send in your request. I also did the main image gen in unlimited mode, and I'm gonna test unlimited versus paid later to see if there's actually a difference in speed. Supposedly unlimited takes a little longer. On top of the typical image generation models, Higgsfield has some unique tools that are designed to help with specific editing tasks, such as relighting images, adding items to an image, and replacing faces in a scene. I tested them all out, and honestly, relighting just kinda sucks. I mean, it worked with white light, not so much with colored, but the main issue is that when you're on the UI, it doesn't preview the lighting change in real time. So you can move the virtual light around all you want, but you can't actually see what you're gonna get until you commit the credits to generating it. Adding items to an image with their in-paint tool actually worked really well for me, but face swapping gave me really rough results, and I was able to get much better images just by using Nano Banana Pro. Higgsfield's next exclusive tool is a model called Popcorn, which allows you to input a couple of reference images and either automatically generate storyboard beats from one prompt or control multiple storyboard images manually. I tested it out in auto mode with a very simple prompt, and it actually gave me some awesome results, which was super interesting. So if you're trying to quickly visualize a whole storyboard, it would be very helpful. Downsides to it are that the images are really not the highest quality, so these are really only good for reference, and it also took 15 minutes for me to get the generations, which is a long time. Finally, Higgsfield has their own AI image model called Soul, which is interesting, but we're actually gonna go back and revisit this because it's tied to their AI avatar and influencer tools. Overall, I have to give Higgsfield like a 9 out of 10 on image gen quality and quantity because they have all of the best models that there are, and then some. As for usability though, I'm probably gonna put it at like a 6 because even though the main image gen UI is really simple, all the extra tools and features on here feel slow, kind of lower quality and in the end pretty unnecessary because you'd get better results and save time just creating and editing the images manually with normal prompts. The only exception to this is the InPaint tool, which actually works pretty well. Next, I want to talk about Higgsfield's new Cinema Studio, which perfectly bridges the gap between images and videos. Cinema Studio is a tool that allows you to input a bunch of camera and lens presets to easily generate cinematic images and videos. This is a huge tool all on its own, and I've had very mixed results with it. I made a whole video breaking it down, and I'll link that at the end of this one because it's just too much to cover in this video, and if I combined it all together, this video would end up being like 30 minutes long. Higgsfield's core video offerings follow the same theme as their images. They've got all of the best models from Kling, Sora, Veo, Wan, and Minimax, but their UI is surprisingly different. You can select your video model up here at the top, and if you choose something like Veo 3.1, it's pretty straightforward. You get the general model and tons of control in the left menu. You can use start and end frame or just upload images for it to use as references. There's also a multi-shot mode which will give you multiple scenes from one generation. These things are cool and I've never seen them on another AI site before. However, if you click the model settings on that left side menu, you'll see that they have even more models that didn't make the main menu, which is great, but it's kind of confusing. Why are there two places that I can select a model from? If we select Kling 2.6 and then go back to the main menu, there's even more stuff to overwhelm you. Higgsfield has a ton of special effect presets that you can apply to your videos. And these are neat, I guess, but I don't really know when I would ever use them. Aside from simple cinematic directions like this aerial pullback one. And to make matters worse, each model has a different selection of presets that are available with it, so even these aren't consistent. The whole thing is just kind of a sensory overload for me when I just want video generation. But enough of the negatives. While the sheer quantity of options here can be overwhelming, it's also one of Higgsfield's strengths because they have advanced tools like video editing and motion control available. I mean, look how perfectly motion control copied my movements from this video. It even got his hand interacting with his hair right and the reflection in his glasses. Even though if we pause it and zoom in, you can actually see that Arnold's hands have like a billion fingers on them in the reflection. Higgsfield also has a number of exclusive tools and models with video, including Higgsfield DOP, which is their own video generator. I tried this model, but honestly, it kind of sucked. It just cost a ton of credits and I ended up getting a much better result from Kling 2.6 for like half the price. Another thing that I feel is gonna suck is this click to add tool. Supposedly, this feature allows you to create product ads just by pasting a product link from a website, which seems way too complicated and I can't believe that it could work, but we'll give it a shot. I'm gonna choose this hydration powder my wife and I like called Element. Copy this, paste here. Oh, there's a game to play while I'm waiting. Okay, well, it got the details. Holy crap, it's expensive. That's so many credits. I'm gonna pick this minimal one because AI UGC ads give me the creeps. And generate. Let's see it. Oh, wow, this isn't actually bad at all. It totally understood the product. If we look at it critically, there's definitely some issues here with like text rendering and stuff. Plus, obviously the audio sucks.
Rapidly rehydrates for workouts.
So this isn't just like ready to post on social media, but it actually performed a lot better than I expected. It looks like here that it used Sora 2 for the generation, which explains the quality as well as the high cost. There's a couple of other special video tools on Higgsfield, but the only one that really seemed like it would be valuable is this new mixed media tool. This adds super crazy detailed filters over your shot, and honestly, it looks really good. The only downside is it costs a ton. Like, very expensive. So this is really only something that I would use if I wanted to lean into some super cool effects for like a music video or something. Overall, Higgsfield gets a 10 out of 10 for quality and quantity on the video side. They have all of the best models and they also have a few really impressive bonus tools that make the generative process easier. Unfortunately, it does suffer a bit from having too many options and too much fluff though, so I have to give ease of use like a 7 out of 10 here. Okay, well, I have to talk about this even though I kind of hate everything about it, but AI influencers are a thing now, and this is the third major offering from Higgsfield. Forgetting my bias against how weird it is to design another human being, the process of making AI avatars on Higgsfield actually turned out to be super fast and seamless. They've got a builder mode where you can create a whole character from a bunch of different preset options like a video game, or you can use the prompt box to design the character in any way that you want. I made Dusty the Cyborg, Dale the Alien, and Larkin the Yeti. Except Dale is kind of freaking me out right here, so let's just use this box down at the bottom and make him a little happier. There, that's better. This AI influencer tool is actually different than their character modeling feature, where you can upload images of yourself or somebody else, and then use those with Higgsfield's Soul image model to generate new images of the character. These character generations aren't really all that good though, and it seems to me that all the other tools under the character tab are obsolete now too. Image models like Nano Banana do character swaps on their own now, and Recast Studio has definitely been replaced with AI models and motion control. The only tool that seems somewhat interesting here is their AI stylist, where you can virtually try on clothes, which is kind of neat because now I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that I cannot pull this jacket off. But wait, there's more. The character tools are distinct from the lip sync and UGC factory, which are under the video tools. These are basically wrappers for audio inclusive video gen models that simplify the prompting process by separating the prompt and audio inputs. What's weird here though is that on the first test I did with the WAN model, it actually ended up adding a ton to my simple prompt, which ended up giving me a result that was not at all what I wanted. The second lip sync attempt with Kling 2.6 gave me a much better result, but I'm not really sure why this is any different than if I had just used the normal video gen tool. Then there's the UGC factory, which takes you through a bunch of steps to combine product images and your avatar, then generate a clip. But for some reason it flagged this shot of Arnold on a zebra with a pink jacket as inappropriate, which doesn't really make any sense. I mean, even reading the enhanced prompt that Higgsfield gave the AI, I don't see anything that would suggest NSFW content. It is cool that we get to see the enhanced prompt here. The one that I put in was way simpler than that, but I struggle to see why I would ever use this tool as opposed to just working with Nano Banana and video gen tools to make a better result that I have even more control over. In the end, I have to rate the AI influencer section like a 7 out of 10 for quality and quantity, because the image quality and motion control features are amazing, but obviously audio quality hasn't been solved yet, and that is a huge factor in making something believable. As for usability, Higgsfield gets like a solid 8 here. The main workflow in creating influencer models is great, but again, there's a lot of unnecessary tools and fluff that make navigation and picking the right tool for the job pretty difficult. This is the common theme that I found when using Higgsfield. They've got a ton of tools and models, basically anything you could ever want, but the website is super crowded with a bunch of wrapper UIs that use those models to do specific things that you can already do within the core image and video gen tools themselves. And in my experience, the core tools just work better and faster than using the wrappers anyway. As far as censorship goes, it really depends on what AI model you're using. Sora 2 doesn't allow any images of real people, but I had no problem generating those with any of the other models. Google, on the other hand, has pretty strict NSFW censorship around violence, but with Cinema Studio, I was able to generate a whole Western shootout scene and a Viking execution. Really, it just takes some experimentation. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. But the good news is that whenever a prompt gets rejected, your credits get refunded, so it's not a waste to try. Which brings us to one of the most important things that you need to know about, which is price. Just like every multi-model AI site, Higgsfield works on a credit system, meaning you pay for a subscription that gives you a certain number of credits to use each month that you can exchange for AI generation. And then when you run out of those credits, you need to either upgrade your subscription or buy one-time purchase credit packs to keep working. Not every site has one-time purchase credit packs, so it's nice that Higgsfield offers this, but those packs aren't nearly as good of a value as the subscriptions. I'm currently paying around $25 a month for 1,200 monthly credits, but if I wanted to top my credits up, $40 only buys me 840 credits, so huge difference there. However, top-up credits are valid for 90 days, while subscription credits expire at the end of the month, meaning any leftovers that you don't use are gone forever and they don't roll over. I'm gonna start next month with 1,200 credits, whether I use all 1,200 this month or only 300. But what can those credits even get you to begin with? Let's dive into the cost per generation. Higgsfield Ultimate is the most popular subscription. That's what I've got, and it's $24.50 per month for 1,200 credits, so about 2 cents per credit. Let's compare this to one of their major competitors, Artlist. Artlist has an AI plan that's $28 per month for 40,000 credits, which is way more than 1,200. But don't be confused, this is just semantics. Artlist credits aren't nearly as valuable as Higgsfield credits, so you need more to pay for each generation on Artlist. How many more? Well, one 4K Nano Banana Pro generation generation on Higgsfield costs 4 credits, so about 8 cents. The same generation on Artlist costs 700 credits, which when we do the math comes out to about 49 cents per generation. We see the same price discrepancy with video, where one 10-second Kling 2.6 generation on Higgsfield costs 20 credits, roughly 40 cents. While on Artlist it costs 2,500 Artlist credits, which equates to roughly $1.75. I have triple checked this math, and Higgsfield is obviously a much better value. But there's a bunch of other competitors in the space as well, and if you want to see a full price comparison between Higgsfield and all of them, let me know down in the comments and subscribe, because that comparison video is going to be super eye-opening when I release. The other thing that Higgsfield has going for it is unlimited generations in some models, where you can use it as many times as you want without spending any credits. This does seem a little too good to be true, and there are reports of unlimited models being removed from users' accounts after they subscribe. So I wanted to test this out myself to make sure it's not like a bait and switch tactic. This is a list of all of my unlimited models included in the subscription. You can see that the video models are only unlimited for a few days. Now this might be what was tripping people up, but these image models down here at the bottom, those are unlimited forever, including Nano Banana Pro. That said, unlimited isn't actually unlimited. If we open up Nano Banana Pro and switch on unlimited mode, you'll see that it restricts us to 1K and 2K resolution images. Unlimited generations also go to the standard queue as opposed to priority, so they're gonna take longer to render. I tested this out by timing 5 different image generations across both the unlimited plan and the paid version, and really the results were all over the place. One unlimited generation actually finished before the paid generation did, which was super surprising. But typically I saw that the unlimited generations took about an extra 30 seconds to create compared to the pro or the paid generations. And honestly, an extra 30 seconds for fulfillment is really not bad at all. Now for the super important but boring details: privacy and data. If you're doing client work with unreleased products, NDA material, or private brand assets, Higgsfield is not a confidential place to upload them. According to the terms of use, your input and uploads can be used to improve the service, and they're not private. They collect, and I quote, user-shared multimedia data such as texts, photos, images, and videos that you upload and process through the service, as well as associated metadata. Metadata includes information on how, when, where, and by whom a piece of content was collected, and how that content has been formatted or edited. Metadata also includes information that users can add or have added to their content, such as keywords, geographical or location information, and other similar data. Their privacy policy explicitly states you should not provide us with any confidential, sensitive, unlicensed, proprietary, or biometric information through the service. So very clear. Now this is not a deal breaker for me, but if you're working on a video for like a new iPhone release and you're under a strict NDA, Higgsfield is definitely a no-go. Not a big deal for most people though. Now what is a big deal for most users is their data retention and content licensing policy. First, I want to point out that per their policy, Higgsfield isn't required to store any of your generations, and this actually bit me in the butt because I used to have another account with them, and when that subscription expired, I lost access to all of my previous generations on the site. Moral of the story is, if you definitely want to keep a generation that you make with Higgsfield, you need to download it before your subscription expires. The other thing to note is that when diving into the terms and conditions, I realized that there is a clause here that grants Higgsfield an irrevocable free license to use any of your generations. That means that if they like something I created, even though I own copyright to that image generation, they're still allowed to use it on their site or in promotional materials, which I'm really not a huge fan of. They don't claim ownership of that content, but they do have the rights to use it as they wish. Do I think most people are going to run into an issue where Higgsfield starts using their generations without their consent? No, but it is a possibility. Okay, in the end, who is this site for? I love how powerful all of Higgsfield's tools are, and they certainly provide a good amount of value for creators. So if you're a creator making AI effects or films, this is a great option. On the other hand, if you're working on confidential client productions and you're worried about privacy and licensing details, it might be best to look elsewhere for your AI needs. I do think that Higgsfield's UI could use some work too. It's just very convoluted. Whew, that was the longest review I've ever made. Thanks for sticking with me. If you appreciated it, hit the like button for the algorithm, and if you want to check out Higgsfield's new Cinema Studio tool and see what that's all about and what I think of it, you should watch this video right up over here.